Okay, now we are at this topic, profit center as an investment center. What does this mean? Let me give you an example. If you want to measure profitability of a branch that you open up in a different city in the country that your business is set up, and if you don't want to, if the branch is not a legal entity, which means that it is just a pure branch without a legal company definition to it. So how can we measure the profitability of the branch, whether it's making profit or loss? The reason I'm asking you is because let me explain this to you using a slide. There are actually two types of organization structure. One is to use a typical company code and group relationship. For example, you have a HQ company code, and under the HQ there are plenty of sub companies created across different cities. Company 1, company 2, and so forth. Okay, company 2 and 3, it just changes to company 2 and company 3. Okay, this is one setup, and the other setup is there's no legal company code, but there is a HQ company which has got sub branches, branch 1, branch 2, and branch 3. So there will be no legal company code set up for this kind of organization structure, where we have only branches but there's no company. So when there's no company under this structure, it is easier to measure the profitability of each company, because anyway we're going to create a company code for each of these company object, and as you know, when there is a company code, we can create a financial statement in SAP for each and every company code. So this is not a problem. But the problem comes here where there's no legal entity for these branches. So rightfully we should not create a company code for these branches, alright, because these are not real company code, these are just branches. So when this situation arises, how can we monitor the profit and loss of each and every branch at the branch level? So this is the reason why we can use profit center as an investment center, because each of these branch can be referred as an investment center, meaning that the HQ would like to monitor the performance of each and every branch as an investment. So in order to track the return on investment for each of these investment center, we can use profit centers. We can create a profit center for each and every branch, and then post the postings to the respective profit center and measure the profitability. But I think we have already seen this in our earlier chapters for profit center, how we can post revenue and costs, and then measure the profitability of each profit center. But we have not seen how we can post capital and receivables and payables to profit centers, because what we have posted so far to profit centers is only P&L accounts, revenue or loss, but in order to create a full-blown balance sheet for the branch codes, we also need to post capital, assets and other balance sheet accounts. Only then we can create a full-blown balance sheet account for each and every branch here. We need to create a balance sheet account for each and every branch because these are treated as investment center, meaning a company within company. Okay, otherwise if this is just a sales team where you don't want to treat it as an investment center, you just want to know how much profit it makes, you can ignore this topic and then use the steps explained in these topics to post the profit and loss accounts to these branches, and that will suffice. But we need to cover this topic only if you want to post capital, receivables, assets, stocks and other balance sheet accounts to the profit center. Okay, I'm going to show it to you now. Alright, just give me a second. Alright, let's understand the concepts now. Profit center is an investment center. We already have a full-blown balance sheet for our HQ company, Sun New York. Okay, this is our Sun company based in New York. Sun New York HQ. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to open up a San Francisco branch from the Sun New York. Let me show this balance sheet to you first. Financial statements. Okay, Sun, and let me show you the balance sheet statement. Okay, this is the profit and loss, which is 16,302, which is shown here. Alright, you can look at the P&L, 16,000, and the capital liability is over here, 25,777. The total of this is 25,000 and so forth, and this plus this will become our total on the liability side, which is this total and this total. And on the asset sides we have this. Where's my asset? This one. Alright, my asset total is going to be this, as you can see here, asset total. Okay, so this is where I derived these figures, if you are wondering where I got these figures. Now this Sun New York HQ is going to open up a branch in San Francisco, and I'm going to show you how to post that information. So we're going to start our branch in San Francisco with a capital of 2,200. So I'm going to take out that amount from the bank and create it. Don't worry about the negative figures in the cash in hand, okay, because due to our postings earlier, the cash in hand has become negative amount, so it's something like a liability. Normally cash in hand is a positive amount. Okay, so in order to create the entry for the investment, I have to move this down, and I'm going to create an entry here as investment in SFO, San Francisco. The short form from San Francisco is SFO, but if you are from a different country, you will not be used to this acronym. So let us spell out the full thing. San Francisco. Let's go. Okay. Which is 2,200. I'm going to start the me copy this first. I'm going to make more room, bring it down. Okay, now I'm going to create that. Alright, paste it. Alright, it's easier now. And let me enlarge this. Okay, now it's good. So I've created an investment in San Francisco using the balance in bank. So I need to change this amount to cash in bank to lower than that. So let me check what is the amount. 4,940 minus 2200. So the balance is 2740. Cash in bank 2740. Okay, this is done. Cash in bank. Let me move this in a bit. Alright, cash in bank is 2740 now. After I've created an investment in San Francisco, I used up the cash in the bank. So this still tallies to 9725. There's no change on that. Let me move this down. Good, so far so good. Now what are the postings for this investment in San Francisco? So let me bring in something. Okay, the people in San Francisco branch has used up the 2,200 capital to buy a building for 200 and stocks for 2,000. Okay, so this is just an example. You can't buy a building for 200 in San Francisco, so just treat it as an example. So the manager in San Francisco branch has used up the 2,200 given to him, alright, to invest in this manner. He bought a building for 200 and stocks for 2,000. So all from this investment here. Alright, let me draw a line here so that I can understand. So how are we going to post these figures? This is not a problem. We can just post this information already in the SAP system, and for this information we just have to use a FB50 T code to post a journal entry. Let me do that now. So there we go, good to go. FB50. Okay, choose the posting date and choose the bank account. Cash in bank, credit 2,200. Oh, sorry, we need to create an investment account first. GL account, investment account as an asset, FS00. Go in there. Let me see which number series we can use. It should be long-term assets. Okay, let me see the number series. Okay, let me go to SPRO, accounting, master data, GL accounts, preparations, define account group, go to Sun, and fixed assets is 1000 series. So let me use 1000 series. Okay, let me see what are the fixed assets we have, because investment account should be a fixed asset, it cannot be a current asset, okay, because it's a long-term asset. So the next number available is this 2. Press enter. Yes, does not exist, I want to create it. Press OK. Create fixed assets, balance sheet account. This will be investment in San Francisco. Good. And go to field status group, use a fixed assets field status group. Do I have one? Let me see what is the fixed asset field status group used by the other fixed assets account, so that we can just follow that. And it's using assets account 0007. Close this. So this is the one, and save it, and we have this account now. Just click OK. Okay, copy this, close, enter here, debit 2200, and save it. That's about it. Oh, we need to enter the date field. Okay, enter the date, go back, save it again. Alright, the document has been posted. Let us check the financial statement now. Should be reflected here. Execute again. So let's go to the asset side. Oh, we haven't assigned the asset account yet. Is it here? Oh, it was a refresh problem. I just refreshed the screen. I just closed and then come back, so I was able to see it now. So the investment in San Francisco is over here, and the cash in bank has reduced accordingly. So let me see here, these two. Alright, these two is reflected now. This is done here, investment in San Francisco and cash in bank. Now the problem is, how are we going to post these transactions now? Okay, for this, if this has been a company, then we can just proceed to create a company code for the San Francisco and post these informations. But since this is not going to be a legal company, it's just a branch, we have to use a profit center object to represent a branch and do postings for this. So let us do it now. We're going to create a profit center for we need to create a profit center for San Francisco branch. Let us do it now. Okay, let us call it SAP FI, unique name for San Francisco. So let us create a full name. Let me change it. Let me change it to San Francisco. Okay, San Francisco, San Francisco. San Francisco. Okay, manager for the profit center group of vehicles, and save it. Before that, make sure the company code assignment is good. Yeah, you can actually remove test 2 so that you don't allow any postings from company code test 2. Okay, because it's a direct branch of Sun company code. Saved in inactive status. Let us activate it. Yeah, it will be activated. Okay, this is done. Profit center has been created for San Francisco branch. Now the next thing to do is to assign the GL accounts of capital and building and stocks to San Francisco branch. These are known as balance sheet accounts. These three are known as balance sheet accounts. So we had to do something extra. If it's not like a P&L account where you can just straight away post values to it in FB50. Since this is a balance sheet account, we need to use this function here. Let me show that to you. Controlling, profit center accounting, actual postings, choose additional balance sheet P&L accounts, click this, choose accounts, and you need to enter these accounts. Capital, okay, capital account of ways of the capital. I think I would like to redo this posting here. Instead of using a new account for investment, we can just use additional capital in order to start its branch. So let me work out an example, then I'll continue this topic in a second part. Let me save this for time being as part 1. Okay, then I'll continue with part 2 after making a decision whether to use a separate GL account or to use additional capital to start this.